welcome everyone. Welcome all to the Season 1 semi-finals, the first. Cycling System brings together the Narwhals and Atomic Fox. It's like two casters and myself and Jenny today. I'll be guiding you through the game.
Hello.
So, first game is in Lijiang Tower. So there's going to be a couple of key challenges for Atomic Fox to come against going against the Narwhals. It's like Crisscross has been known to have a very solid Rhine, and then it's like Dynamite Cycles also has a lot of potential. But the first few fights will have a huge say on how this match goes.
Ready for battle.
Going into the first map, it's like both teams are running Mei. It's like on support, it's like Atomic Fox have Lucio and Moira. On DPS, they've got Mei and they have Reaper. And on tank, they're running a very dive orientated with D.Va and a Winston. On the other hand, it's like Narwhal's playing a more defensive comp with like Winston with Ryan Zarya. It's like both the support line is the same, but they have got a Genji recently having buffs, and so some key picks straight from the start.
Got the Moira hanging behind.
Ooh. Can the Reaper get out of there in time? Lucio trying his best to survive.
Looks like Narwhals take the first point.
Lucio is still somehow alive. He's managed to do.
They're gonna push up their spawn.
That's a pick. That's a pick which they can capitalise on. Though, it's like if they get another one, it's like it might change the flow. Reaper going in for a flank. There's a Mail trying to stop it through the main, but it's like the walls that will shut it down.
They're gonna keep pushing to the spawn.
This aggression can work. The only issue is like when the ults come online for the other team. If they get some early picks, it can swing a fight. It's like way ahead of the point, and it's like give the team a free capture. There is a safe space to defend.
We got Finn sitting over here with his ult coming up.
Reaper's ult is usually quite destructive. It's like if he can somehow get a good position, he can really have an impact in the fight.
They're really holding them at their spawn.
They need to find a way of somehow getting out. The left.
It looks like they're all jumping off the map now.
Okay, that's a novel thing. Genji's doing a dash to avoid jumping off the map.
Finn's making his way.
Oh!
Yeah. That was a rough first round.
It's gonna be tough. If they can maybe get a fight or two early on, they might be able to capture second point and take it from there. It's a case of mentality, and hopefully they can pull through and provide a challenge next round.
Looks like we're making a few switches here. Finn got off of Reaper and went on to Toby.
Torbjorn could work. Torbjorn could work quite nicely.
5, 4.
Looks like we've got a Sombra too.
1. Round 2. Capture.
This could work.
Narwhals are keeping it the same.
The Narwhals don't need to change by and large, as they really dictated the last few fights. Sombra could work. It's a case of Psycho getting the right hats and getting the key picks at the right time. Ooh.
My team went down.
It's like Lucio hanging around the back, hanging around the back of
on the May.
point. No one's
May
still
takes her out.
don't. I haven't seen the Lucio. Where do they go from here? Do they maintain a dive tank composition, or do they go for a more traditional comp which might give them some more defense? Dive works when it's cohesive, and when you get some early picks, but when it's not, and especially with the May, they might need to swap it up for a tank that can maybe hold out a bit longer, like Orisa or Rhine, like with a shield.
Oh, it looks like Atomic's trying to take the point.
They are. This could provide a bit of stagger if they can. Ooh. DWA falls down. Sombra's still behind the team. Last few picks in the fight for May there.
We've got a male, Iowl, Moira all, and a Shatter coming up on the Narwhal side.
It's a case of being there. As long as they're smart with their roles, they should be able to take this 2-1. But if Atomic manage to force, ooh, and they have taken the point.
We got a Reinhardt back here at the spawn.
They've managed to get some, but they've managed to take a point through some nice little flank play there. Some interesting ult usage there. The bomb could get value. Ooh, the May
walled off.
That's unfortunate. That is immensely unfortunate. There's like a key melee can shut down the ults quite nicely.
Oh, it looks like Atomic's taking the point again.
Sombra with a little bit of with some flanking again. If the team can take advantage of this, they might be able to capture it again before timer runs out. And that's 1-0.
Unfortunately, they're just keeping them in that spawn.
The tank competition was an interesting choice, which fair nice. Which could have worked, as we see the player that came from Lucio. It's like the Narwhals got more defense from their tank composition at the time. It was a valiant attempt and some interesting flank play at the end from Atomic Fox.
We had Welsh on that Sombra trying to do everything he could to get that point.
Okay, right. So next up is Blizzard Worlds, a hybrid map, one which rewards early aggression. Let's see. the possibilities are there if they can get an early pick. As long as, but they need to prevent themselves from being walled off. And so if they can do that, they might. If they can do that, they might be able to capture point early and get some good time in the bank. Swap to blue team. Right, okay, cool. The next round.
They're a good team. I believe that, you know, they get their stuff together and they can give it a good push.
Quite confident. I think it's like, oh, what are we missing? Quite comfortably. I think it's like both teams could, it's like if are still in it, as long as Fox, I think, so managed to pull the next round. Yeah, next round, and it's like pull a good performance. They still could do really well. It's there we go. Some interest there. It's like it'll be interesting to see the tank lineup. The tank lineup could decide a lot. If they stick with dive, they need to get the early picks. If not, maybe go to a more formation which gives them more protection, but could allow the DPS to flourish more. Oh, I need to put some. Okay, cool. Let me change map too. Right, okay. And then escort hybrid. There we are.
Welcome to Blizzard World. Initiating match.
Right, okay, cool. Here we go. Into Blizzard World.
Oh, it's the Christmas edition.
Before I throw a little flare in there.
Ready for battle.
As we go past the Christmassy balloons and the trees.
Oh, we do have some tank changes on the Atomic side with a Sigma and a Zarya.
Sigma Zarya can work quite nicely.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Sigma
And on
Zarya can
Narwhals,
work
they're
very
going-
nicely. It's a case of Sigma making sure. It's a case of making sure that they don't shut down. That's like they call back the shield before it's broken, and then the Zarya, protecting the Sigma while he's shields down. It can work and it can be effective. We'll see how they manage to play it. It's a different tank lineup from the Narwhals too. Narwhals
Yeah,
running
Ryan
but they're running a hog.
Hog, yeah, hog. Got Widow on the high ground. She's down already.
The hog went straight down there. It's like do they stick on it or do they switch? But it's like Atomic putting up a solid defense. So
Yeah,
far.
they are. We've got Narwhals getting low here.
Sigma was on his own a bit there, but Psychic they managed to pull it out.
Well, it looks like Time Traveler changed off that Zarya and went hog as well.
That's a very interesting shot. Good work. Echo's down. Like, can Fox regroup? There's a nano. Can they shut down the hogs down? They're backing up. They still haven't lost too many.
And Bob's out. Narwhals look like they're gonna take the first point here.
If Fox can regroup, they still have a chance of taking some time off the flying bag. That's a brilliant combo there from time.
Got an Ash on the high ground, Narwhal side.
Zarya and Moira ult shut down. Echo getting some little pokes in on the shield. Genji with a dasher gets a pick from behind. But Ryan's been out of position. Zara's pushing it. Zara's pushing forwards. Like both tanks are a bit. I thought very full from their side currently. Moira's also a bit splitting the team too. That should be second point quite comfortably after that. They've pulled out a Mercy now. It's damage boost the Ash, which gets you can get some good value from a damage boosted Dynamite, which I think will really help their cause.
Got the lonely Anna sitting on payload while everybody else is pushing it.
Anna's got the range to pull it off quite nicely. Her and Brig are usually quite handy sitting on a payload. It's like making it so the team can be aggressive and push forward, and then it's like if they need to, they can then either jump forward a bit, or just chuck heals in at distance.
Narwhals are still sitting on 4 ults coming in for this next fight here.
There's been some nice little hook. Some hook shotgun combos here from time.
Here comes the Genji. And the grab.
Oh! There's Nano Doomfist. Let's see if he can do anything with this. He didn't have his ult at the time, but it's like he managed to make much of it at that point. So we've got another tank in Arisa now coming to point.
Here comes the Shatter. Gets the charge on time.
Doom trying to stall the point. And 3 minutes.
With a team kill.
29 in the bank.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
There we go. Right.
We've got Atomic on attack now, and they're bringing out a Bastion. An attack Bastion? What do we think of that?
Attack Bastion. He lacks a lot of mobility, but if the Bastion is smart with his positioning, and if he can utilize turret mode to get picks while not being seen, he can still get some really nice value from it. It'll be a case of the Bastion's positioning and engaging at the right time so he doesn't get shut down. The Genji could shut him down, but it's like if he can pick off the Genji first, he then takes out one of his biggest counters. Genji being buffed Genji being buffed as well is going to be psychic into a lot more dangerous to Bastion than he was previously. But I think the biggest threat lies in the Ashe high right. Ashe being as dangerous as she is with the dynamite.
Got both DPS down on the Atomic side.
Ryan and Hog are going against each other, but the Zarya jumps in at that moment, jumps in to help out. They're running 2 off tanks, which is a very unconventional choice. They're also running a sim to go with the Bastion, a sim alongside the Bastion. Orion trying to defend around the statue, and Ashe sitting on a bob already, and a Genji looking dangerously close with a pick or two to a blade.
Looks like they're going to try to come up Vikings. There goes Bob and the Shatter.
That's 2 big ults that have been used in this fight, so it helped them to seal to win the team battle. It'll be interesting to see like how Fox respond now. Their ults are coming up. They've got 2, possibly 3 incoming as well.
They've got Shatter and Coalescence.
We've also got a Bastion ult incoming, depending on how
Shatter,
they play it.
It was Hog, so we have a whole Hog Coalescence. Oh, and Bastion here, and Bastion's ulting. Be able to get anything?
Moira gets shut down very fast, and the Ashe on the high right has been a thorn in Fox's side this whole game.
Oh yes, and she's being damage boosted as well. That makes a big difference.
It can enable her to pick it changes her from not being able to take target to 250 HP targets down with headshot to being able to one-shot them. And it also is huge for the dynamite, because it damage boosts the dynamite and enables you to get ults so much faster.
Atomic Fox not being able to get past this choke. Oh, someone is on point.
60 seconds remaining.
It didn't last very long.
Ashe on lower ground now to try and get some picks to get Bob back up fast. 50% to ult as well. Here comes the grab blade. Genji gets 1 pick, but no more from that. So that's it's not effective as it could have been.
30 seconds remaining.
Mercy's ult gives them a bit of a damage boost.
Now we have the Narwhals pushing up a little bit, not giving them any chance to be able to get to this point.
Their best chance of getting to the point now, isn't it? Is just trying to get a flanking DPS behind them and the team get the picks. While Narwhals go back to the point, but I don't think that can happen because they've got...
Oh, we have somebody on point. We've got a Genji and a Lucio.
2 of them. And we've got a ball as well.
And Lucio was taken out, but we have a ball on point now. And he's shattered. And he's taken out.
That was a valiant effort at the end. Narwhals though, so I rode the storm nicely and take a 2-0 lead.
Got Ashe on that high ground. So now we're going on to the third map.
Ooh, ooh. Third map, which, oh, hello. I think they,
I believe it's Volskaya.
are, unless, so let's see. Yeah, I think at 2-0, Psychotomic Fox have seeded. So Narwhals advance into the finals, probably is one of the favourites, up against potentially the Loafers, which could be an interesting matchup. So yes, thank you for tuning in, and thank you everyone, and we will see you again soon.